Little dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Like they're little, they're
What is he
cute.
doing?
I don't know what he's doing, bro. He's cute, but he's gotta grow up at some point, bro. My calves cannot take the
Is he
claws.
eating that?
He's probably eating it. I
It's
don't
like
know,
you
man.
guys.
Dogs are.
By you guys, I mean
It's like
everybody.
us.
This is
It's
our
like
point.
God
Yeah.
looking at us, like, bro, get that
Mm-hmm.
out of your mouth, bro. Like, what are you doing? Who knows? Okay.
At least
No connection.
transition.
Big shake on the table. Today's episode is encouragement.
Encouragement.
We're just kind
Important
of looking
thing.
around it, talking about it, seeing why we might need it, why
We
it's
need to be
important.
encouraged.
Yeah, you know, um, I think about like, I don't know, we talk a lot about like being like quick to forget things, and
Mm.
like we looked at one of our earlier episodes, we looked at the like Israelites wandering, and it's like you just they're quick to forget all the cool things that just happened or the amazing things, and they're going to calves and like worshiping other things, and it's wild, but we're like that a lot, and I think to have a consistent source of encouragement from the Lord, but then also allowing Him to encourage you through other people and other ways too, to have like kind of a well-rounded encouragement,
Yeah, I think the
is
community is real
important.
important
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a bunch. Like we had a whole episode on community and
Yeah.
the importance of that. But this is one of the biggest things. I think we talked about it. Just the ability to encourage, and to be encouraged is so important. And
I think we were talking in that community episode too about like bad communities, weren't we? I think
yeah,
that's a big problem too. Is like, I mean, you could find a community and they can encourage you, but you could be encouraged to do the wrong thing.
sure, yeah,
I think
yeah,
a lot of communities are like that.
yeah,
It's kind
yeah,
of like conforming in that way too, but
yeah. That's interesting to look at. You're gonna be encouraged to do something, so it matters.
yeah.
Who's around you, what they're encouraging you towards. And I just think it's so many times in my walk in my life where it was just that encouragement from somebody that made all the difference, that
Mm.
turned the tide type of a situation.
And that
And
doesn't even got to be like a huge thing either. Like it
yeah,
just be like a little comment or something,
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
being nice.
just being present.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the opportunity to recently sit down with and spend some time with a family member of mine who's like going through it, and he was just happy that I was there. I wasn't even talking to him. The whole time I was sitting there and I wanted to say something. I wanted to have something to say that made the difference. And I couldn't think of anything. I was praying about it. I'm like asking the Lord, like, give me something to say. I got nothing to say. And then he's just like, thank you for being here with me. And it was just that was the encouragement, just presence. So like, different types of encouragement. You could encourage through words, be like, hey, you got this, or be like talking about what the Lord can help with, what the Lord can do, and that can be an encouragement. But just sometimes, just your presence is the encouragement.
Yeah, it's like what we were talking about in a few episodes, not really knowing what things are going to be used for.
Yeah,
Just assume it's going to be nothing, then well, I guess it won't be because you're not allowing it to, but
yeah. But
you never know.
and there's so many cool examples in Scripture of like encouragement, and one I really like is like when it's in Deuteronomy. I think it talks about it in Joshua too, but I don't know. Either way, it's at least in Deuteronomy towards the end, and it's like Moses is stepping down, and he's bringing Joshua in to be the new leader of the people, right? And he does something cool. He like bring Moses brings Joshua in front of all of the people. He like stands him up next to him. And then it says that he encourages him, and he's basically saying like the Lord will go before you. He will be with you. And he's like telling him like you will lead these people, and he's like kind of talking him up. But not only is he giving him this encouragement, which is like I think he really needed it. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I mean,
Yeah.
you're leading a people, like a huge, huge thousands of people, um, into dangerous territory. I mean, as soon as they get into the promised land, they got to fight all these people. So it's not just like they're going and it's chill. Like it's a big task to rule these people, to
Mm.
lead these people. But Moses not only encourages him, like strengthens him in that way, but he does it in front of everybody too. So not only does is Moses helping Joshua like personally look towards God and not at this like difficult task, he's also like almost like building him up even more just by
Yeah, he's
doing
like
it in front of the people.
legitimizing him in the
Yeah.
eyes of the people.
Yeah, and I'm a part of that was kind of to be a smooth transition for the people, like for the people to see Moses giving the blessing on him
Yeah.
and all these things. But you know, I just think so many times like so many people want to wait to do something. Like they want to hear like the calling for somebody to set it all up, to go do out and help or to do work for the Lord or
And when an
even just
instruction book to like fall on their head
sure.
from the sky.
And I wonder if a lot of that is because people aren't getting like poured into enough.
Yeah.
Like maybe we're slow to encourage the people around us. Like we think they're just gonna know that we care, or that they know that we feel this way.
I think we have some
Um,
watered down encouragement too.
yeah.
I don't think that's as big of a thing as just not having
What do you
encouragement, but
What do you
like
mean like just like not
people like
personal
say things,
encouragements?
yeah,
Just
they'll like
like
just say things to be nice, but they don't ever really
okay.
mean it, you know? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not a problem to be like nice, like on a regular, just be a positive person, but like I think some people take it to extreme towards just like
Sure.
visibly fake, but they just kind of do it.
Sure. And it's yeah, I mean, if it's a personal compliment or a personal encouragement is gonna mean a lot
Oh
more
yeah,
than
yeah.
just like a bland one. Um, but I mean, talking about presence, in a combination, I like to think like all encouragement that we get is from God, but sometimes it's not just, you in a conversation with Him. It could be through like worship music or, like I said, through people or hearing other people speak, or could be, just directly from Him. Um, But I can think of like so many times where I was encouraged, and like I remember this one time I was in nice. I was in Puerto Rico on the mission trip, right? And I had just like messed up and I'm in like a spiral. I'm not feeling good. And I let a couple people know like, hey, I could use some prayer. And then my uncle just calls me. Doesn't even text about it, he just calls
I
me.
remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. And then we sit there and talk for a couple hours. And it was just the best thing in it, to the point of your, doing stuff fake. A lot of people, and not that this is bad, but they won't take a lot of responsibility to it. They'll kind of just be like, hey, I'm here
Hmm.
for you. They don't do anything.
Yeah,
Like
they don't
he
really
he
expect you
took
to
the
follow
step
up.
further and like kind of made it uncomfortable for himself, like kind of sacrificed in a way for this thing.
Yeah.
Like he gave his time. It was late, it's an uncomfortable conversation, you know, but that was the encouragement I needed. Like that was exactly what I needed in that moment to continue. And I had a great rest of the mission trip. And then even just not only that helped with the mission trip, but even just life in general
Hmm.
after that, it was a big deal, you know. And that would be, God moving through somebody.
Yeah.
And
I think of those fake compliments, like when you saying that, I think what I meant more by that is like almost a fake friendship. It's like you
true.
just compliment all the time, but it's really just to
Mm,
make yourself feel better than it is anything for them.
yeah.
I think that's really common now. Like that's
Hmm.
just everyone's always like, yeah, I got 100,000 friends. I know half their names.
Sure.
I
And
talked
there's
to two of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm talking about unpersonal friendships. My other example I wanted to bring up for this episode too is out of First Samuel, and so like this is in First Samuel 23, and at this point, like David, this is about David. He's already killed Goliath. He's been working for Saul for a minute, leading his army, but right now at this point, Saul is pursuing David, trying to kill him. So David right now is still leading an army and helping out. Like he's vanquishing, bad people in this land. So he's still doing work for Saul. He's working hard. He's leading this people while he's on the run from Saul. Okay? And then Jonathan, Saul's son, who's friends with David, like risks his life basically, secretly meets up with David. And it says that he strengthened his hand in the Lord, like he's doing this to David. He comes and he's like literally saying like, don't fear. He's like, the hand of my father is not going to touch you. He even knows this. He's like, you're going to be king over Israel. He's encouraged. Like David was promised he's going to be king, you know, and he's leading armies and people follow him, people trust him, but the current king is trying to kill him. He's got all this opposition on him. It's a lot of pressure. Like he's leading it. He's getting attacked by somebody he cares about and even, respects, looks up to because Saul was anointed, you know. And like Jonathan here, and I think this kind of goes back to the like personal too, is Jonathan's kind of risking a little bit to come here and encourage. So it's not just that it's not exactly what you're talking about, but it's kind of
Wrote
like
the
it. It's
letter, but
not,
you could have
yeah,
just
it's
wrote a
not
letter
just
and be like, "You're good."
like distant
Yeah.
encouragement. Like he really cares.
It's like
Like
I'm
this
not
is a
gonna really
big
stick
deal.
my head out for you, but like give you a little
Yeah.
pat on the back when you walk by, maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, the commentary on this says this is not just casual encouragement. It's saying that Jonathan spoke to his beloved friend in ways that would root God's courage and comfort in his heart. So like he is really strengthening David right here, and David really needs it, like all of us do at many times, and constantly, in small cases all the time. But like he is building him up in a very powerful way here, and back to the community. If you don't have people like this in your life, that's rough,
Mm. Or
you
people
know.
who do it, but they do it for the wrong thing.
Sure.
They're gonna be like, it's just imagine like something terrible, and it's like everyone's supporting you and doing that. You're on like OnlyFans or something. It's like, well, I'm making a bunch of money. Everyone around you's like, you're doing great. We're in
True.
Miami, you're balling in a penthouse, but you're on OnlyFans.
Yeah, and then you get to the top and you realize there's nothing here, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, that
Yeah.
sucks."
And then they're not actually your friends either. They just like you because
Yeah.
you're making money, and then you realize that too. It's
You
both
know,
elements of it.
a lot of times I feel like I look at encouragement as like kind of saying good things or building up, but sometimes the encouragement could be a kick in the butt. Like
Yeah.
I'm encouraging you
That's something there's
to
not enough
live
of
like
either.
you should.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out. Like I'm gonna, like let's say you're doing something. I'm like, hey, like you need to stop doing this. Like you're better than this. God has
Yeah.
made you better than this. I'm encouraging you, but it's kind of a kick in the butt, and that could be a more important form of encouragement at a certain time. So I wouldn't say that encouragement, like I said, I usually think of it as like a kind of build up or a good thing, but sometimes it can be a little
Sometimes the most
blunt.
valuable is, just kicking the butt.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be the most valuable part of society. Someone's doing something dumb and they get kind of put back into the system, in
You know,
manner of speaking.
another part of encouragement that I think about a lot is being humble enough to accept it.
Yeah.
And I say that in the sense that it's like,
It's easier to say than to do, but it is important.
yeah, it's like, it's important to be able to receive it the right way. I mean, you can be high-hearted and you're
Yeah.
taking things to heart, but you need to be able to receive like God encourages.
Mm.
He wouldn't encourage if you aren't supposed to be encouraged and lifted up. Like that's the goal. And it's for something good. It's not for like this evil thing. So if he's using somebody to encourage you and he's like, "Hey," like somebody comes up and they're like, "You this was great. Like this was, perfect. The Lord used you in this thing." Like you can take that as this is good. I'm walking with the Lord. And like I'm going down right paths. And if you don't ever accept that, you're just going to, I don't know. I find myself in just like you'll be like worthless or something kind of a cycle. And
Yeah.
it's just like maybe I see all the bad things I do, and then I'm like, well, I can't accept praise because I'm like I'm this terrible thing.
Mm.
But if I can't ever accept encouragement, I'm always gonna be, you know,
Yeah.
kind of in a bad
That's
spot.
an interesting thought.
You know, um, and I say humble because it'd be like the pride of it is that I'm trusting my thoughts over it above what the Lord wants to do.
Yeah.
Back to that kind of disguised pride.
Mm.
Um, I got to be able to accept the encouragement that he is using to fuel me to continue.
Yeah.
It's like you need to keep putting gas in your tank to drive further. If that's the gas he's trying to put in your spiritual tank and you're not letting him fill your tank,
Yeah.
you're going to be stuck on the side of the road,
Cars
not at your destination. So you got to be able to take it and be able to accept it. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really important. Um,
You gotta have people giving you good advice too.
Yeah. And the reason I think I've been thinking about this a lot is one of the biggest encouragements And I was talking to a buddy of mine the other night about it, as I was telling him that sometimes I mess up and I look at this as a pressure, which is not the right lens to look at it. But like I'll have friends or people m- mention to me any something that the Lord is doing in their life through me. And sometimes I'll look at that as like, well, there's people that are looking at me for different things, and so that's a pressure when I should be like, that's so cool. The Lord is using me.
Yeah.
Like I'm was this terrible thing. The Lord has changed me. He's worked in my life and now I can help. Like this is it's mind blowing. Like this is so amazing.
It's hard to
And
balance that, like being humble, but then still being confident, you know?
yeah, and it's like, we were dead in our trespasses. We were this bad thing, but he's washed us clean. That's not saying that we act perfectly all the time,
Yeah, yeah. It's more like a taking
but
pride in his action than a taking pride in
but
yourself.
it's kind of like, people talk about there's life and death in the power of the
And the
tongue,
confidence.
and how you're talking about yourself is a big deal. Like how you say things to people, say things about yourself, like it's a big deal. I think a part of that is like if we're made in the image of God and we're like talking crap on ourselves. And this isn't saying that you're not pointing out where there's a gap between you and the Lord.
Just like
Like
straight
where
up
there's
talking
sin.
crap, where it's
Yeah,
just
but
like
this
you're
is yeah,
just
this is
talking
like, oh,
crap.
I'm terrible, I'm
Yeah.
ugly, I can't do this all these things, and it's like that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good, And I feel like I
Yeah,
see
people get
so
a lot
many.
of mental stuff like that. I mean, like depression
Yeah,
and like anxiety and
yeah,
eating stuff, all the different things like that.
yeah. I mean, we talk about we've brought up multiple times out of Philippians how it talks about to like meditate on the good things. This would be like you kind of look at the opposite of that. It's like the encouragement from people can be a type of meditating on the good things, but the opposite of encouragement would be this kind of condemnation.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's self-condemnation, and if you're just meditating in that all day, oof, that's rough. That's a stinky, sticky mess. That's hard to get out of.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of a spiral like that.
It's not easy, no.
And
A lot of times it takes you hitting the bottom.
and a part of encouragement too is like uh and we look at like people who are without Christ and they go on this very worldly rise to the top and try to shoot these things and then they're alone. Well, we're designed to be in community. A part of being in
Definitely.
community, like we're set
People
up
don't
to be
emphasize that
around
enough.
people. Yeah, and a part of being around people is for us to encourage and be encouraged. Like God uses these people. That's a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot, like wondering if I'm encouraging people enough.
Yeah.
Like I trying to make sure that I put that out, because like I said before, it's like it's easy to think in your head like good things about somebody,
Mm.
or have these good kind of thought intents behind her to see somebody do something, you're like that's awesome, but to actually let them know is a big deal because a lot of people don't know if they're doing good, and they're like kind of stuck in this situation
Or
where
they
they're
will know,
really,
they just don't really care because it's them doing it.
sure, but like people like doing good things.
Yeah.
Like they're doing things for the Lord, but they haven't seen yet that that's happening or they're not sure about it. They need some feedback, you know, and you can give that feedback.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Um, you talk about like this is a little random take, but like when you're like training dogs or actually I'll even go a step closer to people like when you're like teaching your kids good manners at home,
Step
like different
closer to
things.
people, dogs
Yeah,
to
when
kids.
you're I won't say
A
training your kids,
step.
but
That's
basically
a
when you're
step.
training your kids, right? You're encouraging good behavior and punishing bad behavior,
Okay.
right? So in the same way, when you or your friend, when somebody around does something good, you should bring encouragement for that. That's going to help them continue to seek that, because we're always getting sidetracked and distracted by the world, So when the people around you are doing good
They
things,
set up the
point it out.
guardrails like you're bowling, but you can't bowl, but you're bowling.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but
Yeah, man. But I don't know. You think about you got times when you were like major encouraged,
major encouraged.
or maybe were able to encourage.
Uh, well, no, when I was going through like all of my mental health stuff, it was definitely a lot of people encouraging me. mean, that's what I think that was one of those times where I probably wasn't super accepting of it, but I knew it was there. Or maybe not that I wasn't accepting of it, but I didn't find much value in it. You
Sure.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
What are you doing around here?
It's not the same exact thing, but I think that
Going up here?
probably was a little way of like not accepting it, which can be hard to do. It really can. Um, Look at this guy.
You got something to say?
Nothing
Know how it
good.
is, Rocky. Let him know. Speak your mind,
This is
bro.
the new mascot
Oh, he's
for.
jumping down.
Yeah, he's too small to sit somewhere. No, he's in my
We gotta
feet.
get him his own seat.
I know, right? That'd be sweet.
If we had Max, we could probably get him to sit there.
He's kind of an encouragement. You see him, and you're like,
Yeah,
things
he's
aren't
really
so
cute.
bad.
He's bad sometimes, but he's a really cute dog.
I don't know. What do you think? You think there's anything like? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like
I think my
different.
takeaway from us talking about this whole thing is just be real.
Sure.
It's like you're either too fake good, right? Too fake bad. Like I don't know. But if you're just honest when something good's happening and you tell the person, and you're honest when they're doing something dumb, and everyone's like that, then we're all gonna be doing good most of the time because we're
Yeah.
all being real.
Yeah. And I think like the biblical statement, like we love because we were first loved. I think that in the majority of that statement is encouragement, bringing encouragement to other people.
Mm,
Like we are loving because we've been loved. So it's almost like a command for us to go out and encourage. And like I said, encouraging can look a couple different ways. Bringing encouragement to somebody, or encouraging them to stop doing something,
mm,
right? That'd be one of the different ways. But I feel like that's a part of that. That's a part of like
yeah.
the Christian walk. Like,
Plus, like we didn't do anything and we're loved. It's like
yeah,
you can
yeah,
love another person like that too.
yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Again, it'd be going back to that like kind of selfless love that we should be able to reciprocate for other people because it was given to us by Him.
Yeah.
You know, and that can be hard to even like think about like encouraging somebody you don't want to encourage. But like we know that through towards the later of the New Testament, one of the authors writes about like for if you know it was no, you should have done it and you didn't do it, that's sin to you. you know
Mm,
so like if we know we need to encourage somebody but we don't want to encourage them, like that's wrong for us to not encourage them.
yeah.
But it can be hard. That's kind of like forgiveness on somebody who you don't want to forgive, or um that can be a tricky situation. I think you kind of have to go back to that. I'm loving because I was first loved.
Mm,
You realize that I've done so much worse to God than this person's done to me,
mm.
but He loves me so fully and completely. You know, so try to be encouraged with that, I
Perspective.
guess. Yeah, but I mean, even just talk. I mean, man, I love reading through Scripture and just like you hear so many promises in Scripture of the Lord. Like His word is full of encouragement, I think, to believers. Like I don't know if you can read the Bible and not be encouraged.
You're gonna read it
Like
just around the whole
like if
time.
you aren't being encouraged, man, you're reading it weird. You
Mm.
might be dyslexic or something. I don't know.
You don't
But
believe it if
I
you're
mean
reading
it's
it
it's
and you're
all
not.
over the place. He's got promises like being with us, not forsaking us, giving us peace, helping us, like going before us. All these things. Like it's I was saying before, like him encouraging you could be like the gas to your tank to complete the race. You know, um, I lost my thought
It's also
entirely.
the first gas in the tank, first gallon in the
Yeah,
tank to start the race. Look at
yeah.
that.
He his word like so. Okay, there's my never mind. I found
Oh,
it.
he's
So
back
like
at
he's
it.
the words of the living water, right?
Okay.
And we need water to survive, right? In the same way, and his word's full of encouragement. It's the same thing. It's that gas that gets us there, and his word's full of it.
Hmm.
That can be one of the biggest places you go to find encouragement. You said before, it's awesome to
Every
have
time
a
you take a pit
community.
stop, you got to read a chapter.
Sure. But sometimes people don't have community. They don't have good people around them to encourage them.
You have to let them just get their wheels in their gas and not read a chapter.
Okay, bro.
What a terrible community.
Okay, bro. You should read a chapter. Be encouraged a little bit.
He doesn't like his racing analogy anymore.
Yeah, I lost it, but that's
That's all
okay.
right. I've had plenty of flops, and that one wasn't even that bad.
No, but it's like uh
Little encouragement.
his word fuels us. It's so important. Like if you don't have people around you to encourage you, Get in his word. It's another way. So encouraging. You know, we
Mhm.
need this encouragement, I think. I don't I can't think of a single person in scripture who did something big for the Lord who wasn't encouraged at one point by the Lord or through somebody else from the Lord.
Mhm. I mean,
Like,
it's not ever them just doing it themselves.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like they
You
just
know,
one day they're
even
awesome.
even in like Old Testament or early New Testament, it talks about like them being filled with the Spirit, or like I don't know. I'll look in Acts and like it'll say like Paul or Peter or somebody was filled with the Spirit and then like spoke out in front of these people. And I almost look at that as like the encouragement too,
Mhm.
like just then His presence. Going back before, sometimes presence is the encouragement. God's presence, like this, brings us boldness. You know, in a way that's bringing this encouragement, and it's for them to do these amazing things, you know. So I think if you want to see the Lord work more in your life, or you want to do bigger things for the Lord, or you want to be more at peace, like you got to have this encouragement. I think it's a big key to the formula of a
Yeah,
good
for sure.
life, you know.
Mhm.
It's like built in to our DNA. We need it, you know.
It's an important one.
um yeah, encouragement,
It's like
bro.
if we're in Jurassic World, we couldn't make the dinosaur without it.
Yeah, you
Like the
definitely need
dinosaur would be
encouragement
all messed
to
up or
form that
something
up.
without it.
It'd be a sad dinosaur. That's what it would be.
Wouldn't be a
He'd be
sad
pretty depressed.
dinosaur.
Wouldn't even eat. He'd just sit there,
He
in
just
this
die.
cage.
He's born and then he just dies because he won't eat.
You gotta have
Yeah,
encouragement.
it's like walking into the wall and then like you hit the wall and you back
Yep.
up a few
He'd be
inches
like
and you
an
just do it again.
Eeyore. He'd be an Eeyore dinosaur.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny, actually. Yeah. But I don't know. I want to encourage people to encourage more.
Mm.
Like I really
Really
feel like
encouraging.
I know, right? I do feel like that's lacking, and I think back to the point
It's
like,
lacking in a good way. People do it, but there's never really intention behind it. I feel like
yeah,
I've seen campaigns like "Be kind,"
yeah.
but it's like,
Well, I don't know. Like I've talked to Jeremy, right? And it's like I look at Jeremy and he's like doing so many great things. Pastor's like he's talking for the Lord, you know. But I'll mention to him like, this was big. Like the Lord's used you to work in my life, and that meant so much to him. And I realized in that moment, like I don't think like he's a pastor. You almost think that people are encouraging. Like you almost think that other people do it, so you don't do it, and then people never get encouraged.
yeah,
You know, it's almost like that. People say like the hot girl never gets asked out because everybody's too scared to do it, so she's actually lonely. It's almost like that situation, like somebody doing stuff for the Lord, or like needs this
everyone thinks he
encouragement.
like knows more that he's better, I guess,
Yeah,
just
or
because of
thinks
his
he doesn't need
position.
it, or
Yeah.
he's like we all need encouragement. It's such a big deal, you know, and I think if you're encouraging with the heart, like focused on the Lord, like your heart posture is working for the Lord, you can't encourage too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think it's possible.
I
Um,
agree.
and I scripture talks about being like slow to speak, slow to anger. Like we should be quick to serve and quick to help and do these things. I think we should be quick to encourage,
Mm-hmm.
at least quicker than we are right now.
Yeah,
And
quicker to encourage than we are to insult.
yeah, and I mean, I've even trying to pull this in my life right now. Like I really want to work on this more. Make this to 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 spend more time mentally on like doing it, to
Mm-hmm.
like think about doing it more and to then do it more, to be intentional about bringing encouragement to people. Because I don't know, I've just seen how big of a difference it's made in my life, so I know it's a big deal for other people's lives.
Yeah.
Like it's a big important thing. And
That's what he was riffing this whole time.
yeah, that's rough.
Dang. Just walked out
Could
with
be
like an
worse.
envelope.
It could be so much worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Dang. He needs a
Mm.
community. Needs some encouragement.
He's a little lonely right now. We're not
Rocky,
giving
you
him
need to be a
attention.
good boy. It's your encouragement. He's not.
I don't know, bro. What do you got? You got anything else on encouragement, brother?
Not off the dome.
Yeah.
The dog took it all out.
Yeah.
The dome.
He did.
Yeah. He tends to do that.
Alrighty. Well, this could be a short one. Encourage more. Get into your word.
What episode
Do
is
good
this?
stuff. I don't know.
It's one of them.
Episode, I don't know,
I don't
9,
know. Either 9
8
or
or
10 or
9,
something.
somewhere in there. So,
I really don't know. It's probably 9. Well, that was episode probably 9.
Take it
If
easy.
not, we're gonna look dumb. But
Have a good one.